Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope it's not as cold where you are as it is here. I keep moaning about the cold, but I'm at the age where I can moan, so I'm gonna. Anyway, Janibek Alimkhanuly. I've probably mispronounced that, but I've heard about 5 different pronunciations of this guy's name. He's the IBF middleweight champ, and he defended his title with a 9th round stoppage over the previously unbeaten Andrei Mikhaliovich. Now, this was over in Sydney, in Australia, and I'm in the UK, so this was one of those fights that took place in UK time, midday-ish, 12, something like that, I don't know, something like that. Well, Alimkhanuly, we'll call him Janibek for the sake of argument. 16 wins now with 11 KOs, no draws, no defeats. He's 31, he's from Kazakhstan. And he's got this IBF middleweight belt. He was previously the WBO champ, but I don't think the WBO belt was on the line. Has he been stripped of that? I can't remember. But anyway, he's been a champion for a little while now. And UK fans will remember him for his 2-round blowout of Danny Dingham. But then he got taken the distance. 12-round unanimous decision over Denzel Bentley. He fought Stephen Butler of Canada. Got rid of him in, 2 rounds, I think. So he has these quick wins against sort of C+, B- level fighters. And then, he scored a good win over Vincenzo Galtieri. No, that's right. That was a unification, wasn't it? Yeah. I think Galtieri had the IBF title and he stopped him in 6 rounds. Galtieri was not very impressive, I seem to remember. German fighter, previously undefeated, but hadn't really beaten anyone of note, and it kind of showed when he bumped into Janibek. But on this occasion, it was another undefeated fighter, Andrei Mikhaliovich, who is a Russian, only 26 years old. He's based in New Zealand, which is probably why this took place in Australia, because close proximity and so on. And to be honest with you, Mikhaliovich, again, this was a sort of quantum leap for him. He'd won fights in Australia and New Zealand, but no one you're gonna even recognise. I mean, it was a gigantic leap up, and it did kind of show. Although, let's not take anything away from Mikhaliovich, he did show a ton of guts. Guts by the bucket. After a very hellacious second round, in the first round, there was a distance between them. They were both trying to box each other. Mikhaliovich was standing off. That proved to be a bad mistake. Mikhaliovich is an orthodox fighter. Janibek is southpaw, and he does love that powerful backhand, that left-hand backhand, Janibek. But it was clearly a mistake in the first round for Mikhaliovich to stand off and leave some space between them. I gave the first round to Janibek, and in the second round, he really started to ping some seriously heavy artillery off Mikhaliovic's jaw and shook him very badly with, I suppose, about a minute left in the round, maybe. And he had Mikhaliovich all over the place. Mikhaliovich did well to stay on his feet. But then as the bell went for the end of the second round, he hit the floor. And the referee, who did not have a particularly auspicious day at the office, he counted Mikhaliovich, which was fair enough. And then Mikhaliovich sat down on his stool, feeling that, okay, well, the bell for the end of the round has gone. And yes, I've taken the count, but obviously the round's over. And the referee then has kind of waved them together again, momentarily anyway, when Mikhaliovich was already sitting down. To be honest, Mikhaliovich didn't look like he knew really where he was, and you thought the writing's on the wall here. And Janibek was looking like he was in the mood. He was coming forward with a lot of intent, murderous intent. And again, I mean, he hits with the right hand as well. He likes the hook as well, but the backhand is his pet punch. And you thought, Is he going to get through the third round, Mikhaliovich? Probably not, but he did. And the way he did it is simply by sort of bum rushing Janibek, and then he turned it into a mauling, grappling, cuffing, scuffing sort of fight, where the punches they weren't clean punches at all from Mikhaliovich, but he did close the distance. The eye of the storm was the safest. And he was able to sort of wrestle and, like I say, just sort of maul his way through it. And he was landing some scoring punches. He was. But there's no doubt the slicker stuff, the more educated stuff, dare I say it, the world-class stuff was coming from Janibek. It's just that he was being sort of semi-nullified by the tactics of Mikhaliovich. And I wasn't giving Mikhaliovich many rounds. The fight kind of descended into a bit of a maul fest and wasn't particularly entertaining from that third round onwards. Mikhaliovich certainly his jaw, I don't know whether he had a broken jaw or some damage to the jaw, but at times he was leaving his mouth a little, sort of half open. It may have just been that he was running out of puff. But for a guy who in the second round was, clearly concussed, of course, as we know, you don't have to be knocked out or even knocked down to be concussed. For a guy who didn't seem to fully recover as the rounds went on, he was doing his damnedest to stay in the fight and kind of, I think, won over the crowd a little bit. He certainly won over me as I was watching it. Now, Janibek, it should come as no surprise that his work was a lot cleaner and a lot more educated. He looks like so much more of a well-schooled fighter because he had this very glossy record. I think it was 300 or so wins as an amateur and 8 defeats or something like that. Very, very. He's still only 31, but he had a terrific amateur career. Whereas Mikhaliovich, I don't know what his amateur career was, but I'm not big on the amateur scene. I'm pretty much a casual when it comes to the amateur scene, but I don't remember ever hearing Mikhaliovic's name mentioned that prominently. So I'm going to say that, again, this was simply a case of one guy being far better schooled, being a genuine world-class fighter, and the other guy, in this case Mikhaliovich, not being kind of rolling the dice, and jumping up. He hasn't been moved up at incremental levels. Suddenly he found himself at world class, and it was just too much for him. Because as try as he might, you kind of suspected that in the last third of the fight, he was going to get pinged again and was probably going to be in a lot of trouble. And that's exactly what happened. Because in the ninth round, it was towards the end of the ninth round, Janibek landed that backhand again and it unhinged Mikhaliovich, who stumbled back, fell into the ropes. And the referee jumped in and stopped it immediately. Now, if the referee is saying, look, the guy's taken too much punishment as time's gone by, I'm not stopping it because of this one incident. I'm stopping it because of the punishment he's taken. Okay, you can make a case for that. But it did look like a premature stoppage. I thought the referee was going to jump in and administer a count because the ropes propped Mikhaliovich up. But in actual fact, he just stopped the fight. And I think Mikhaliovich was a bit peeved about it. But there wasn't that much protest. And I'm not really that surprised because it was a good... the guy's 26 years old. He can come again. He's a young man. He's probably not even at his physical peak. He's proved he's got heart. You can't teach that in the gym. He's proved that he can hang tough, still try to win even when everything is stacked against him. So all credit to him. But I think it was the right decision probably to stop the fight. And we ended up with a ninth round stoppage. Janibek retaining his title again. But this middleweight division it's going through a lull, to put it mildly, after GGG left the building. We're going to need to see unifications. We did. I say that we did see a unification, didn't we, last time out with Gutsy and Janibek. But we need to see one guy. We need to have a round robin of fights where everyone unifies, where we get an undisputed champ, and then that guy can build on his reputation, build the division, become a bit of a face. Because at the moment, Janibek, there's nothing wrong with him. He's a pretty good fighter, but it's not like he's really tearing up any trees in terms of his world profile. People have heard of him, hardcores have heard of him. He's 31 now, so he should be making a move. He's held the WBO and the IBF belts. What about the WBA? What about the WBC? Go for that. Go for those belts and unify them. That's what he should be looking to do. And he's got the ability to do that as well. A lot of people have said they think the jury's almost still out on Janibek, even though he's held belts and made defences. I don't know about that. I kind of get where they're coming from, but I want to see one guy standing in the middleweight division, because the middleweight division is one of the classic 8 original divisions. It's a glamour division. Historically, it's steeped in history, to put it mildly. We need to see one man standing. We need to see that division elevated yet again, by someone who's going to step up to the plate and say, I am the man, and I'm going to prove it against anyone. Is that man Janibek? Maybe, but we'll see. We'll see. So what did you think of this fight? I thought it sort of petered out, turned to a bit of a maul fest. But let me know what you think. What do you think of Janibek Alimkhanuly? How high do you think he can go? Do you think he's as high as he can go? 31. What do you think of Andrei Mikhaliovich? Do you think he can come again? I mean, this was a jump up. Too much of a jump up, but maybe if he's brought back down and does the incremental steps, maybe he can be a bit better when he hits his peak than he is at the moment. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, please. Hit the like button. It costs you nothing and it helps the channel out a lot. Much appreciated as always. And I will read your comments and catch you later. All right. Thank you very much. Bye for now.